All of you, good morning students. So today's class about introduction to computers. This is very useful session for all the learners of the computers. So this is useful for first year students. These introduction to computers objectives are: first of all, what is computer? What are the characteristics of using this computer today? So, what are the basic building blocks of this computer? Those are the generations of computer. So, these are the discussions in this computer subject. So, first of all, what is computer? In simple terms, it can be defined as an electronic device which accepts data. It will perform required mathematical and logical operations at very high speed, and it will be release the desired order of output. This is the computer. It is an electronic device. It is a calculating device. This design is possible to accept data and perform the mathematical logical operations with very high speed and release the result. So, these computers used in our homes, schools and colleges also. In fact, in today's we find the computers in most aspects of our daily lives. Computers were extremely large in size, and this will often require an entire room for installation. In previous, these computers consumed enormous amounts of power and that were too expensive, so that will be used for commercial applications. But today's technical development advancements, the size of the computers become smaller and their energy requirements reduced immensely. In the fast, computers are extremely large in size. They are used for commercial applications. Today's technical development computers are used to develop any type of application. This is very smaller and very cheaper. So, computers have become so prevalent in the market that all interactive devices, those are called cellular phones, global positioning system units, portable organizers, automatic teller machines, gas pumps, these are work with computers. So, simply this is the definition about computer. Then next, what are the characteristics of computer? The computer is an electronic device that performs a function based upon a set of instructions. So, this is known as the program. So, this will accept data and process that, it will be produces the information. This is the nature of the computer. So, this data refers some raw facts. These are known as figures, pictures. So, the end information implies the processed data. Data refers a raw facts. So, process refers calculations and comparisons. So, output refers the processed data. Today, computers have become crucial part of our everyday lives. We need computers just like we need the television or telephones, some other electronic devices we are using the home. So, computers are basically meant to solve problems very quickly and accurately. So, these are the important characteristics of the computer. The next, depends upon these characteristics we have to use the computer today. Computers can perform millions of operations per second. So based upon these characteristics, we have to use the computer. So this means that data may otherwise take many hours to process it, output as information in the blink of an eye. Speed of this computer is nanoseconds in picoseconds. Nanosecond is 1 into 10 to the power of minus 9 seconds. Picosecond is 1 into 10 to the power of minus 12 seconds, like that. So this means the computer is very high speed manner working. Next, accuracy. Accuracy is very fast, reliable and robust electronic device. Computer is a very fast and reliable and robust electronic device. It always gives accurate results. This will be provided the correct data and set of instructions as a input. So if the input data is wrong, then the output will be errors. In computer terminology, this is known as the garbage in, garbage out. If you are giving the input to the computer is wrong, it will be released the output is also wrong. So that means you are giving the accurate data, you will be provide the accurate data to the computer, then it will be given the accurate result to you. The next, automation. Besides of this thing, it is very fast and accurate. Computers are automatable devices that can perform a task without any user intervention. For example, some of the packages, MS Excel. So in this, we have to use some of the calculations with automation method. So the next, diligence. So computers never get tired of a repetitive task. It can continuously work for hours without creating errors. If a large number of executions are needed, each and every execution requires the same duration and it is executed with the same accuracy. This is the nature of the computer. Next, it is versatile. So versatility is the quality of being flexible. Today we have to use the computers. Those are used in our daily life in different fields. So for example, we are using the personal computers our home. So for business oriented tasks, we are using this weather forecasting, space exploration, teaching, railways, banking system, medicine field. So we have to use these computers. In any field we have to use, it is very flexible and a qualitative machine. So memory. Similar to humans, computers also have memory, just we cannot store everything in our memory. So in that situation, we have to use the secondary media as notebook, record, files, like that. So here computers also have internal and primary memory. Internal memory is the primary memory and also another memory is the secondary memory. So while internal memory of the computers is very expensive, limited in size, but the secondary storage is cheaper, bigger in capacity. So while you have to store the data inside of the computer, first of all it will be received by the internal memory, then it will be sent to the secondary memory. You are giving the name of that file or instruction of the instruction's name. The computer stores large amount of data and programs in the secondary storage space. So this store data and programs can be retrieved and used whenever you can required. This secondary memory is the key for data storage. This is the one of the example for this secondary storage is floppy disk, optical disk. These are the CDs, DVDs, like that, HDD drives and pen drives, hard disk drives. This will be stored the computer programs, applications. Anyway, you can store anything inside of the computer that will be stored in the secondary device of this computer, that is the hard disk drive. So futurely you can retrieve them. The next, data and programs have to be used. They are copied from secondary memory into the internal memory, often known as random access memory. So then next IQ. This trending today is to make computers intelligent by inducing the artificial intelligence. There is no IQ. It's not having the own IQ. It is created intelligence, that is the artificial intelligence. This artificial intelligence IQ level is 0, so they need guidance to perform various tasks. This is the nature of the computer. Next, economical. Today computers are considered at short-term investments for achieving long-term gains. So using these computers also reduces manpower requirements and leads to elegant and efficient way of performing various tasks. Next, so computers save time, energy and money. Compared to other systems, computers can more work in lesser time. Using the conventional mail system to send an important document takes at least 2 or more days. Whereas same information when sent using the internet is very easily. You can send mails, programs, files, pictures, videos, audios within hours. Within seconds you can send mails, you can send information elsewhere, anywhere of the world. So this is the working nature of the computer and characteristics of the computer. Depends upon the characteristics we have to use the computers today. The next generations of the computer. The word generation in general indicates a state of improvement in the product development process. This will be applied to the computer technology. So in the 5th generation, so that will be introduced vacuum tubes. In the first generation computers used a very large number of vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory. These computers are so big in size, so it will be occupies entire room to be installed. The first generation computers were very expensive and very large. These are used for scientific purposes. They also occupies large space and also needed a lot of electricity. So this generated enormous heat, which was often the cause of malfunctions. These first generation computers could be programmed using machine language, which is the lowest level programming language. This will be depends upon the ones and zeros. These are the binary codes, binary numbers. These computers could solve only one problem at a time. So input to the computer was fed that using punched cards and paper tape in this first generation computer. So UNIVAC, ENIAC, these are the first examples of these electronic computers. UNIVAC, ENIAC, these two are the examples of the first generation computing devices. This will be implemented in this period 1940 and 1956. In the second generation computer, these were manufactured using transistors. So implemented in between 56 and 63, 1956 and 63. These transistors were very superior to vacuum tubes. Computers manufactured using transistors were smaller, faster, cheaper. So these are more energy efficient and reliable than the first generation processors. These transistors also generate heat, so it will be subjected to the computer to damage. So this using this transistors, but these are better than the vacuum tubes. Input was fed into the second generation computers using the punched cards output will be generated by printouts. In the first generation, computer were programmed using the machine language, but in this second generation computer using the symbolic and assembly languages. So the programmers to specify special instructions in words. The higher level programming languages were developed in this second generation period. Those are COBOL, Fortran, ALGOL, Snowball. COBOL used for business application development. Fortran used for scientific calculations. ALGOL is the algorithmic language. So the next, in the third generation, this period is 1964 to 1971. Integrated circuits are developed in this period. This is the third generation computer period. So these are the transistors. Resistors and capacitors were miniaturized and placed on silicon chips. These are called integrated chips. These chips were smaller, less expensive, more reliable and faster in operation. So consumed less power and generated less heat than the components used earlier. This software development is in COBOL and Fortran, and also standardized softwares are introduced in this period. So that is ANSI Fortran, ANSI COBOL. So another programming languages, higher level programming languages such as PL, programming language 1, Pascal, BASIC were introduced in this time. Pascal is scientific programming language, Pascal is mathematical programming language, BASIC is used for beginners. So how to write the program using the BASIC is very easy. This is user friendly language. Then next, in the fourth generation computer, the period is 1971 to 1989. The microprocessor launched in the fourth generation computers period. Thousands of integrated circuits built onto the single silicon chip. This is the microprocessor chip. First generation computers often filled entire room. Fourth generation computers, very little computer on the contrary, so that will be fit in the palm of the hand. For example, Intel 4004 chip developed in this 1971 period. So this fourth generation semiconductor memories that were very fast were used in the HDDs, also become cheaper, smaller in size, larger in capacity. Hard disk drives will be implemented in this period. So during this same period, operating systems also developed. These are Microsoft DOS operating system, Microsoft Windows, Microsoft XP, like that. Unix operating system will be developed in this period. Next, in this fourth generation, computers also saw the development of graphical user interfaces, the mouse and handheld devices. Graphical user interface made computers more user friendly, so that even non-computer professional could work easily on this using the graphical user interfaces. Very easy interaction software, that is the Windows. So you have to work using the computer using this graphical user interface platform. Fifth generation computer, artificial intelligence. So these computers are completely based upon the artificial intelligence. In this fifth generation computers, the aim is to develop devices. So these are respond to natural language input and that are capable of learning and self-organization. So these are gaming, expert systems, new natural languages, neural networks, robotics will be developed in this period. Computers are programmed to play games such as chess and checkers like that. So, and also computers are programmed to take decisions in real world situations. For example, some expert system help for the doctor in diagnosing the disease based upon the patient's symptom. Natural language. Computers are programmed to understand and respond in natural human languages. So, systems are programmed to stimulate intelligence by reproducing the physical connections that takes place in animal brains. Computers are programmed to look, listen and react to other sensory stimuli. So, the current status is that no computer is able to completely simulate human behavior. So, natural language programs enable people to interact with computers very easily. Robotics. Computers are widely used in manufacturing and assembly plants for performing certain tasks like that. Fifth generation computers generation of computing devices are used for voice recognition system, so that can be convert spoken sounds into the written words that have come into existence. So, today the hottest area of artificial intelligence is used in neural networks. Neural network systems are widely being used in different fields such as voice recognition, natural language processing. This fifth generation languages commonly as artificial intelligence languages. These are used for AI development applications. These are called Lisp and Prolog. This is the information about generations of computer. The first generation computer will be introduced in the period of 40 to 56. So, we are using the inner technology will be developed with vacuum tubes. The second generation, in that vacuum tubes place, so use the transistors. So, in that place, in the third generation, developed the integrated circuits. So, in the fourth generation computer, microprocessors are introduced. The next fifth generation computers time, artificial intelligence is coming. So, today we have to use more technical computers. So, the classification of these computers depends upon the classification: supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers, microcomputers. So, we have to use it in different places. So, what is the use of supercomputer? These computers can classified in 4 types. These are the super, mainframe, mini, microcomputers once again. Then next, what is the use of supercomputer? This is the fastest and most powerful, most expensive computer. These computers were first developed in 1980s. This process large amounts of data and solve complex scientific problems. These supercomputers use parallel processing technology. This can perform more than 1 trillion calculations. By the way, we are using these supercomputers. So, used for parallel processing technology, it will perform more than trillion calculations in a second. Single supercomputer can support thousands of users at the same time. So, such computers are mainly used for weather forecasting, nuclear energy research, aircraft designing, automotive design and online banking system, controlling industrial units, etc. like that. We have to use these supercomputers. Some of the example is Cray 1, Cray 2 are the examples of this supercomputer. Then next, mini computer. Mainframe computer, not mini. Mainframe computers or large scale computers. So, these are smaller than the supercomputers. They are very expensive and need very large clean room with air conditioning. This can also support different PCs. So, for example, IBM S390 mainframe can support 50,000 users at the same time. So, users can access mainframes by either using terminals via PCs. So these are basically two types: dumb terminals, intelligent terminals. These dumb terminals consist of only one monitor and keyboard mouse. So it's not have their own CPU and memory. So this is mainframe systems. This use mainframe systems CPU and storage devices. Intelligent terminals. In contrast of these dumb terminals, intelligent terminals have their own processor and perform some processing operations. These mainframe computers are typically used as servers on the World Wide Web. These are used in the large organizations. Those are banks, airline companies, universities, like that. So IBM is the biggest company. This is the major manufacturer of mainframe computers, IBM mainframes. Then next, coming into mini computers. So mini computers are smaller, cheaper and slower than the mainframes. These are called mini computers. So because they were smallest computer of their times. These are the mid-range of computers. Mini computers are widely used in business, education, hospitals, government organizations, etc. like that. So why? Because some mini computers can used only by a single user. So others are specifically designed to handle multiple users simultaneously. So single user mini computers are used for performing complex designing tasks. So this will be used in the network environment. Mainframes mini computers can also be used as servers in a network environment. So hundreds of pieces will be connected to this network environment. So next, coming into microcomputers. Microcomputers, commonly known as personal computers. These are very smaller and cheap. The first microcomputer was designed by the IBM company in 1981, that named as IBM PC. So another type of popular PC is designed by Apple. PC is designed by IBM and other PC compatible computers. So that have different architecture from the Apple computers. So PCs and PC compatible computers commonly use Windows operating system, while Apple computers use the Macintosh operating system. So this is the information about the microcomputers. Today we have to use the microcomputers. Then next, those are desktops. Desktop PC is the most popular usage today. The system unit of the desktop is that can be placed flat on its desk or table. It is widely used in homes and offices. So laptop, this is a very small microcomputer today we have to use to develop your personal computing. So that can easily fit inside a briefcase, that are very handy and easily to carried out from one place to another place. So these laptops are very useful, especially when going on long journeys. Laptops operate on a special battery and do not always have be plugged in like desktop computers. The memory and storage capacity of this laptop is almost equivalent to this desktop computer. Desktop computers, laptops also have the HDDs, hard disk drives, floppy disk drives, etc. like that. So for input, we have to use the laptops have a built-in keyboard and a trackball, otherwise touchpad, which is used as a pointing device, mouse. So like as desktop PC. Today laptops have the same features and processing speed and most powerful PCs. Next, we have to use the workstations. Workstations are the single user computers that have the same features of PC. So their processing speed matches that of mini computer and mainframe computer, just like as a mini and mainframe computer. So these computers are used for powerful single user computers. These are used by the scientists, engineers, architects and graphic designers. So though they can also be used as servers in a networked environment. Next, network computers. Network computers have less processing power, memory and storage than the desktop computer. These are specifically designed for terminals in a networked environment. Some network computers are specially designed to access the data and stored on the network. So, for example, we are using network is internet and intranet. So, we have to manage the intranet facility or internet facility, you are using the network computers. So, the next, the most common example of this home-based network computer is web TV, which enables the user to connect a television to the internet. So, this web TV is equipped with a special set-top box. Next, that will be used to connect to the internet. This is the useful. Next, hold handheld computers, a range of small personal computing devices that are commonly known as the handheld computers. These are the palm top computers, mini notebook computers. These computers are called handheld computers because they can fit in one hand, while users can use this other hand to operate them. These handheld computers are very small in size and hence they are small sized screens and keyboards. For example of this thing is personal digital assistant, PDS, cellular phones. These are the example of this thing. Then next, the last one is the concluding session, that is quiz session. So, I will explain all the things about introduction to computers. What is computer? Why? Because you are using the computer. So, applications of the computer. Then next, different types of computers we have to use. Then next, first of all, we learning about what is computer, characteristics of the computer, the next generations of the computer. So after that, what are the computers today we have to used, depends upon the usage. Then next, last one is the quiz questions about this all class. The first question is going to be taken as, the first commercial computer delivered to a business client is which one? That is UNIVAC. The answer is UNIVAC. The technology used in the manufacture of second generation computer is, so that answer is transistors, that will be developed in second generation. So the generation of computers in which time sharing operating systems were used is in which generation time? That is third generation. The answer is C. The computer languages that are specially designed for the fifth generation of computers. So those are computer languages Lisp and Prolog. So these languages were designed in fifth generation period. Web TV, this is the example of network computer. Web TV technology is the example of network computer. So I can stop the today's class. Thank you.